In India, many families live in communities like this one, with lots of people sharing one toilet and families crowding into one room all together. But still, in communities like this, there are such stories of hope and of change, where people are changing their circumstances. And one such story belongs to this guy, Mr. Janay Lam Sheikh, who is our Pursuit founder, and he's come to show us around.
Come on, let me show you my home. This is my childhood, my young adult life. The community is called Mullahati. It's a slum right in the center of Calcutta, India. So this is my house. This is a one-room house that was home to my family. In fact, in the community, in this slum here, most people would live in this one-room. Family of 6 or 7 would live in a room that's about 8 by 9, 10 feet in area. This is our communal shower place. Every morning when the tap runs, you collect water, you bring it here, and then this is where everyone takes a shower or a bath. My mother and father didn't have any work when we were little, so my dad would go out every morning like all the other parents in the community looking for jobs, and some of the times you would find work, some days you wouldn't, so you had food depending on whether you had work that day or not. Yeah, my parents, even though they had little, like all parents do, they have hopes and dreams for their children. So they worked hard, they did all that they could to provide for their children, but sometimes their best was just not enough. I knew that was my father's story, that would be my story as well. But things changed when I was about 5 years old, and some local organizations came together and started talking to our families, our parents, telling them that they wanted to help us and wanted to bring education. I was the first child in my family to go to a formal school. And I remember my father was more excited than me. When my first uniform pack came home, he was the one who ripped it open and didn't even wait for me. I remember one of my fondest memories as a child was teaching my parents how to write their names. One of the first things poverty does is it takes away dignity from life, and it makes you feel your life has no worth. Education restored some of this dignity to our life. It was dignifying when my father didn't have to put a thumbprint to get his wage, but he could write his name. When I was in high school, my father got very ill. He contracted malaria, one of the many diseases that people suffered from in our community. His malaria was so severe that his organs started to fail, and he was in bed for many months. So we got this room courtesy of our family and neighbors, because my dad couldn't live in that other room which lacked any kind of ventilation. So this was the room he used the last few years of his life, and I used to sleep here at night with him. But then after he passed away, people just let us keep it as a family memory. But often when I would come, I would still come here. My father was someone who always had a dream, to dream beyond what our immediate life allows us to dream. He always wanted education. He knew the power of education. He knew how education would change our lives. I got an offer and private scholarship to go to Manchester. That's how I ended up in the UK doing a master's degree in business. And when I finished, my heart was always to how do I give back to my community? How do I create the same opportunities for children and people like me? And that's where Pursuit came about. I wanted to create opportunities where people's circumstances limited what they could do in life, and that's what poverty does. Your circumstances limits you from what you can do. There's so much potential, there's so much talent and skill in the lives of children and people in poverty. All you need to do is give them the opportunity, and then the sky is the limit. So that's the vision of Pursuit, that we won't let circumstances limit opportunities and determine what people could do in their life.